Yo, listen, big up to everybody locked in, man. It's another great day for a great show. We are taking you till 10.
Speaking of great, I don't know what happened to Iron Voice in real life today, but y'all play the music with little excitement in it. Mr. Man of dance and you had a little vibe today. Bro.
He's actually being a DJ today.
Right. I'm looking at him, he's dancing and pressing it. I'm like, yo.
And I think the reason why he's doing so, you kind of left out because you haven't been here for last Friday and Saturday when callers started to call in and actually tell him about his DJing skills.
Good or bad?
Nobody called
it. It wasn't good.
Nobody called it, bro. And this is an embellishing.
And now
this is an embellishment.
He has gotten the message that when he gets on, he gotta put on.
So fire there must.
There's a little bit of embellishment there.
So he's doing it, man, because that mix right there was fire.
Yeah, I was watching that. That's why I had to comment. It wasn't your regular self. You know what I mean?
I advise you.
It seems like it was a good Monday in your life. You know what I mean? Pick up yourself.
Call you live.
Hi, good night, gentlemen. How you guys doing?
Good night.
Drew, leave Iron Voice alone. I'm glad he's vibing tonight. I'm glad he's vibing.
Thank you.
After I'm in a trouble, big him up.
He rough by me in that place ever.
But I'm gonna move your show along tonight, Chin. I just want to let you know I watched, I should say, a series called Uprising. I don't know if you saw it on prime time. It was a very, very good documentary, and it talked about the 13 Black Caribbean individuals that died in a fire. Very, very informative.
Thank you. Uprising. Where was it? Is that Netflix?
No, on Prime.
It's Prime. I gotta subscribe.
Amazon
to
Prime.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I gotta subscribe to that.
Okay.
Thank you.
It gave us a lot of information about the importance of what Jamaica culture did for England. It was really, really nice. It was very, very good. Sad and very informative at the same time.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And those of you, I always like to ask what you're watching.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, last week was a busy week for me, so I didn't get to watch anything. Right, but thank you for that. And if somebody else has anything that they're watching, please share with the platform.
Man, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, so many people around the world are listening, and sometimes some of us are watching stupid stuff when we could actually watch informative stuff. Because I think that the TV experience should not only be an entertaining experience, but it should be also a learning experience from time to time.
Little learning can go.
I like my violent shows. You know what I mean? Like when 5 minutes into the show, somebody are dead. Somebody I get shot up.
Something makes exploding.
You know what I mean? I like that. I like when I see a big drug deal going down because I know say drugs,
equal death.
Gun, police, good vibes, nice storyline. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that for real life. I'm saying that for
television.
The entertainment life, the television life, right? Those are my shows. Then every now and again, I might kind of branch off into a comedy kind of situation, right? Somebody put me up on the Dave Chappelle thing, so I had to go watch his last special when he went in. It was good.
Yeah, man.
Wasn't you Iron Vice? Yes, Iron Vice was telling me about that, right?
Yeah, man.
So I went and I watched it. It was cool. He did some real, I don't even want to say edgy jokes because he went over the edge.
He said it though.
He went over the edge.
He said I'm going over.
Right? So those of you who haven't seen the Dave Chappelle last what is that? The last
closer.
episode.
They called it the closer.
Yeah, the closer. Last episode on Netflix. That was wicked as well. So I like comedy sometimes. And be honest with you, if it's a good love story, not a lovey-dovey story, but one of those, I will every now and again run in on a Tyler Perry show.
No, sir.
No, every now and again I will.
You're better than me, sir.
No, here's the reason why, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a reason.
Because I got a lot of love for the black actresses. And one thing that Tyler does, even though some of them don't do, some of them it kind of looks kind of like not well, rehearsed or whatever. But you get to watch, people of our culture doing and talking about things of our culture. And sometimes I take out a look of 5 minutes to do that. I'm not going to tell you that I'm a Tyler Perry fanatic, but listen, sometimes he does come off with some good shows.
Yeah, you're throwing enough things at the wall, something's going to
stick.
One of them.
You know what I mean? Something sticks. So hands up.
I just want to figure out what he does with the hairstyles.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing about Tyler that I respect. he keeps it black.
No, he does. He does.
that
That you can't.
Yeah, he keeps
can't
it
say
black.
nothing about that. I respect that.
And the things that whether the acting is great or not great,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not really a Tyler Perry fan. I'm just talking how it goes, right?
Mm-hmm.
One, he's giving a start to new black actors.
Sure.
He's giving them giving them a
Giving them a
introduction.
resume. Yeah, man,
Hopefully they can, take it
it and do
further.
something with it.
Some of them, that needs to be their first and last.
Yes.
Right? But some of them also show some great potential. So
Mm-hmm.
I rate him for that. Also, a lot of the things are relatable to what we go through in our lives as black people.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us, So it works out. He has the sophisticated, and if you realize, most of his shows that is talking about the black lifestyle, there's always a bougie, sophisticated person in the lineup.
Yeah, man.
As well as a ratchet somebody in the lineup as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
and then somebody who's maybe a hardworking person in the middle.
So he tries to represent
blue collar,
everybody
man.
within
He represents the whole
gamut,
culture.
the whole spectrum.
And I respect that. I'm not saying that his movies are like that all the time, but I respect him for that. There's nobody else that you can go to that is gonna do it that way
Right now.
You know what I mean? And sometimes he get top actors to play some roles.
Yeah. That's all my boy.
Depending on the show.
Call it live.
Well, that's it.
Yo, I go on, brother.
Lion by Joe, the girl, and boy. Everything cool?
Yeah, man, everything good, man.
Bless up, brother.
I don't say the great JD, I can watch her right now, but I'll talk it.
Dukes of Hazzard.
That's what boy in a easy, man. Make you laugh, man.
Listen,
Check him out one day.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Right? Because when I first came to America, that was my parents' show.
Dukes of Hazzard, wicked.
And I used to watch that show, and Dukes of Hazzard and Cletus and all of that. But then when I started going to a school in America, I realized that the General Lee was a racist flag, and the whole situation was like anti-black. So I kind of like, yo, well, go on.
I didn't know. I didn't know, right? My mom and my dad growing up was such fans of the Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, man, me.
Right? When Boss Hogg kept up his foolishness, I could hear my mom and dad laughing that vibrate the whole house all the way downstairs to my room.
Yeah, man.
So I was watching it. It was not until, and I think my big sister's probably listening, right? Yeah, because I did big her up. But I don't even think she knows it. She's the one that stopped me from watching it.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, because she like basically kind of yelled at me in an aggressive tone. Like, yo, stop watching that. That's a Confederate flag.
Yeah.
And then I started looking at him like, yeah, big up, brother.
Yeah, man, bless
I
up.
started thinking like, yo, for real, there is really not much black people in.
There are no black people
in Hazzard County.
In Hazzard County.
No,
and when a black man does pass through, he's usually a mockery.
And he's a criminal.
Yes,
He's part of the criminal tandem. He one white guy, one black.
One black.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
it was always one
yes.
white. Yeah.
Yes, it's true.
It's true. But you know something? I watched it and enjoyed it and I didn't hear anything about the Confederate flags till it was too late. So the show was never ruined for me.
I don't think that a lot of us were paying attention
Nobody.
to it.
I did,
I was
because
a
when I
kid.
started going to school, I was like, hold on. Because then they start teaching you about the Civil War. And
Civil War, yeah.
So I was like, hold on, that flag there, rare. I was like, why are we watching this?
Yeah, I was.
Granted, I never went to my parents. They'd probably told me to beat it. But me, I was like, yo, I load that something.
I was a kid, so it didn't bother me.
It's crazy. But, again, what you're watching is something that we like to talk about here at Sound Chat Radio. Big up to everybody locked in, those of you in Canada, those of you in Japan, those of you in America, those of you in the Caribbean islands. From time to time, just stop in and let us know what you're watching, because these conversations allow us to get educational shows to watch. It also allows us to get entertainment shows to watch.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? And all that great stuff. So listen, it's Sound Chat Radio, people. I'm supposed to have a guest in studio in a minute. And I want to get into that. And then I want to get into some strong topics tonight. Big up to those of you locked in Boston, Connecticut, Brooklyn, the Bronx, the UK. Big up to everybody locked in. And I got my list here, by the way. You know what I mean? Because, one of the stations was like, yo, bro, we've been streaming you for like almost 10 years now, and I hardly hear you, big us up. So I said, you know what? Maybe I need to put a list of at least some of the stations. I don't have to have all of them, but let's put some of them up here. So big up to all the stations that stream us on a Monday night, man. Turn up your radios loud. It is Sound Chat in your ears, and this is what we're doing. today. Iron Voice just showed me something that's saying, what is it saying, Iron Voice?
It said 52 people were injured in shootings and 12 people killed across the country.
Oh, that's not bad.
I guess
it's not bad from where we're coming from.
I mean, across the country.
But you gotta say from where we're coming from, Drew, because that's for it sounded weird for us to say that's not bad.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
12 people dead.
When we were growing up, Halloween was a really bad thing.
Yeah.
And I have to say that
it calmed down greatly.
Peer pressure is a real thing. Because I myself did really bad things on Halloween.
I mean,
because it was part of our kid culture at the time.
We did, yo.
Right? So on Halloween, for those of you who live in other countries that don't understand what Halloween in America was,
horrible.
In some of these garrison areas, right, inner cities, we would go to the supermarket and buy crates of eggs.
Yes, sir.
Crates and crates and crates of eggs, right? And I'm a firm believer that somebody always benefits in every single situation.
Oh, yeah.
So even though we were doing horrible things, the supermarkets made sure that Halloween weekend they had more than enough eggs than that they would normally sell, because they knew that the badass kids was coming in to buy the eggs. And we bought all of the eggs from the supermarkets, and we rode around and we drove around and we threw eggs at people, and we threw eggs at cars, and we threw eggs in stores. And again, I'm admitting this because I'm older now, and I realized that we were stupid. But this was the tradition that took place for years and years. We didn't make it up. It was something that we inherited.
I came and saw it, and I joined in. You know what I mean? Like, the first couple of years, I was running from eggs, and then I was like, hold on. Then I joined in.
They started playing eggs too.
They would throw eggs on the school bus.
Oh, yes.
Everything was getting egged.
We stood out on Avenue H, and the B6 bus caught hell, bro.
But we also got to talk about situations that used to take place because of the egg throwing. Like, I remember one of my brethren got caught by somebody that they threw eggs at, right? And it was a sad situation also, because here's the thing. The cars were driving by, we hid, and we egged the car, right? We egged the car, and we ran, because that's normally what you do. You egg the car and ran. My brethren didn't take off fast enough, or whatever the situation was, and he wasn't expecting, none of us was expecting it to be like a psycho man driving the car, right? And the man jumped out and chased him down and lumped him up, right? And as kids, I kind of feel like a punk now, because really we all should have went back and helped him fight.
Right.
Yeah, you should have.
Right? But I think we were so far away from the scene because we
didn't
ran
make
away
sense to go all
fast.
the way back.
But what took place was the man basically said, yo, I'm driving with my kids in my car. And you dudes, he used the F words though, right? The MF words. You dudes got the nerve to throw eggs all over my car window shield.
Can't see.
Right? With my kids in the car. Now that I'm telling this story, it's kind of crazy because his kids were in the car and he ran out of the car, left his kids in the car to beat up my brethren.
Right.
Somebody had to pay them.
But he was the man was furious.
I understand it.
Right? And I understand it. Now, if there's a video that came out that I saw Jabba post for Massive B.
The kid in Harlem.
Right? And I want to show you, I want to talk to you guys about that real quick, but let me go to the phone lines. Call you live.
Smooth operator number 1.
Left field.
AKA Forever 40.
Oh no, you're getting hip.
Smooth operator number 2.
Yo.
AKA Heavy D.
Yes,
and smooth
sir.
operator number 3.
You're not
Now I remember Halloween years ago. I was renting this place, and this other guy decided to go outside like 6 p.m. Saturday. It was Halloween. Go outside. When he came back with a bloody nose. He said they mug him and take his ring.
Yes.
So I said anytime Halloween come, I want to be inside after 6.
Of course. No, and the thing is this, right? I never wanted to be evil.
And rob people.
I never thought of the evil thing, right? Because dressing up for Halloween stopped for me when I was a kid. Right? After a while it was whack, right? But I never connected it really with like devil business. even though it's kind of like
It
that
is
whole devil business.
That devil business,
But
man.
as a youth, you just wanted to dress up like
Superman,
Superman, Spider-Man, or a monster, and you go to people's house and you get candy, right? Trick or treat, but nobody ever does the trick. Everybody wants the treat, right? And that's what we did until people started putting razor blades and poisoning kids and all of that crazy. So Halloween is coming from a very far place, bro. Right? Because people used to put razor blades in candy,
pins and
all of that stuff in candy to hurt kids.
Can you imagine?
Right? People are just wicked, right? And that used to happen. But in addition to that, the egging and anything else that people could find. Now, if your mother was walking down the street, I'm sorry to say, people would run up to her and egg her, right? That's just what it was. If, the bus door opens up to let off a passenger,
It's a wrap.
eggs are going to throw at the bus driver. So it was a bad day for people.
Everybody to go to work.
Except for the people who owned the supermarkets that sold the eggs.
Yes.
And the corner store.
And the corner stores.
Them good.
Thank you.
Them good.
Right? I saw Jabba post this thing and it took me back. And I remember that incident with my brethren, right? Because a man, his car apparently got egged by 2 kids, right? So he's caught the kids and he basically told the kids like, yo, y'all big enough to egg my car, y'all gonna wash my car. Y'all gonna wash these eggs off my car.
He took one of their phones.
He's like, y'all gonna wash these eggs off of my car, right? And the kids is trying to walk away from him because they're caught. You know what I mean? And these are kids, right? Yeah. And, young teenagers. And he was adamant. Said, yo, y'all gonna clean my car. So the conversation goes from there to him saying, yo, give me $30. Give me $30 right now. Y'all gonna wash my car.
Give me sneakers.
Yeah, y'all gonna pay for me to wash my car. So the kids are like, yo, I don't got no money. He's like, yo, take off your sneakers then. Give me your sneakers, homeboy. Because y'all was mad enough to egg my car, right? Give me the sneakers. Eventually, I think he ended up taking the kid's phone.
Yeah, he had the kid's phone.
He just took the kid's phone. He's like, yo, when you bring me my money,
you get back your phone.
You get back your phone. But you egg my car, you gotta pay for it. 718-554-8598 is that number in studio. I don't care where you are in the world. I don't care if you cannot or have not witnessed this, but you can relate to the conversation that we described because we described it very accurately. What would you do if you were driving, minding your own business in this day and somebody threw eggs at your car? Would you stop? Would you keep going? You know what I mean? What would you do if you stepped off the bus and somebody threw eggs at you? Would you stop? Would you keep going? What would you do? Because this gentleman decided that he was going to deal with it kind of like a street way.
He went old school.
But at the same time, I know that people looked at it and was like, yo, you picking on little kids though. Come on, you're a big man and you roughing up little kids. But then the other side of it is that they really did something wrong.
I don't have no problem with what he did, regardless of their age. You know what I mean? There's a couple of different ways he could have handled it. You know what I mean? He got the phone. He could have been like, get your mom on the phone or your pops or whatever.
Right.
And he could have dealt with it that way. He chose to take the phone. They link him. They get the money or whatever. Me, though, in this situation at my age now, I think I would just ignore it. Only because I'd have to be honest with myself. Because I know 19 or 18-year-old me was out there throwing eggs. You know what I mean? I said?
Problem.
So I know where that's coming from, and I also know that the mentality of the kids nowadays is not like when I was that.
Right.
These kids,
you might come out and get shot.
Yo, they bout it.
Right.
So if I'm gonna step out my car, I'm bringing an element of danger to myself that I really don't need at my age.
So you would just probably just leave it
I
alone.
might just low it. You know what I'm saying?
Be like, damn, they got me.
Yeah, and chalk it up the game. You know what, karma.
Go
Right.
to the car
20,
wash.
30 years later, I'm that dude. You know what I'm saying?
So, but what it seems that's happening though is that it seems like the new generation is trying to bring back the egg game in the Halloween.
Yeah, because it hasn't been around for a long time.
It disappeared for a very long time. It looks like they're trying to bring it back now.
You know what? If I'm an older person I'm fighting against that because the way New York City is set up right now, that older guy that took on those kids taking a chance right now.
Yeah.
You coming at them youngsters like that.
And not only that, honestly, it's not the time to do them things. Because you got egg the wrong smarty. We're not living in a time when people were more level-headed. You know what I mean? 'Cause as bad as we were back in them days, the people were more level-headed. Nowadays, a man with a car, imagine, a man with a shoot out in car and try shoot after I picnic them. We not living in nice times.
But let me say this to you. 718-554-8598 is that number in studio. Let me say this to you. Because somebody just hit me up on WhatsApp and said it. Did he rob the kids? Because they're saying he robbed the kid.
And that was, yes, it is, because he took their personal possession. Oh. And he's videotaped taking the phone.
Yeah.
So he did rob the kids.
That's robbery.
718-554-8598 is that number in studio.
Technically, he could be charged for that.
Yeah, he could.
He could be charged for that.
718-554-8598. Is it robbery? And let me describe it again. So I don't care if you're in England, you in Germany, you in Canada, you in the U.S., just jump in on this conversation. I got a special guest in studio. We're going to chop it up with him for a few minutes also and get into some other topics. But let me ask you this. Is what the man did robbery? They egged his car. He came out and he caught them. He said, listen, y'all going to pay me for the eggs on my car. Y'all got to give me a car wash. Wash my car. Give me $30. Now, mind you, $30 is pretty much the price of a car wash these days. He didn't ask for $50.
No, he
didn't ask for $100.
He asked for the car wash.
He just asked for the price of the car wash. The kids then said, we ain't got no money, right? So he said, all right, you ain't got no money? I'm taking your sneakers. Give me them sneakers. Apparently the kid them had on some nice sneakers, right? And that led to him now taking the kid's phone, right? Is that robbery or is it discipline? Or whatever else you might look at it at.
It's discipline streetwise.
Right.
Street discipline, but legally it's robbery.
It's robbery. And nowadays it's working. Them people, back in the day, them would have said, you get what you deserve. Now, you took my child phone. Problem.
Call you live.
And big up yourself, Rumble Boss. Big up yourself.
Yo.
The deacon / lawyer /
A chin you talk to?
No, don't mix up a tattoo with the church. Don't do that.
Oh, boy.
Talk to me. Is this robbery?
Chin, OJ got prison for thief him own items, own good things.
True that.
He own something OJ got prison for. Yo, when him do a robbery, what day? Me go to a restaurant, and order some food, and two little boy in there, one little girl inside there. Look a young little boy, they came more than 15, 16 inside there. I make a beer nice, pan shot down on them ass and everything. And I look on them, I say, make a beer nice on the place. Then you look on me and say, yo, my G, what you looking at? What you want to do?
Now you go do the picnic something, you go in jail.
Big Bridget, me look on me and say, pity, in my old age, what me I going to do? My three young boys going to drop me and beat me up, but what me I going to do? Exactly, bro. Me just turn my head to the left as if they never hear them and just put the tail between my leg and just take my food and go in my car and go to my yard.
Ain't no shame in that. Like Kenny Rogers said, you got to know when to fold them,
You got to know when to fold them,
And from him I go and say, one of them holding something,
Know when to walk away, know when to run.
One of them,
him
not go and so if him light you.
And that's exactly what you got to think. As an older person,
you got to think about,
You ain't on the street, but you still got to have street. You got to have street. You got to be streetwise.
Again, I want to hear from some of you guys all over the Caribbean, right? Those of you in the UK, wherever you are from, stop with this. Just weigh in on this. Did this gentleman rob these kids, or is this some type of discipline in your views? Right? Let's forget about what the law says. Right? Let's just keep it in the street.
Because streetwise are discipline.
Because it's in the street.
Streetwise are discipline. If you're losing force.
Let's keep it in the street.
Discipline,
right?
Man.
Because the law would get the kids in trouble for throwing eggs on somebody's car as well.
Yeah,
right?
but
so, to somewhat.
Yeah.
Right?
But robbery is a bigger crime.
I advise, but I don't want you to bring us in the courtroom.
All right, sir. Sorry,
I know you putting on the lawyer suit right now.
Sorry, sir.
718-554-8598. Is it robbery, or is it just some street discipline that he did?
A discipline, man.
Yo, give me your sneakers. You can't pay for washing my car after egging up my car? Give me your sneakers. All right, cool. You don't want to give me your sneakers? Let me get this phone.
Run that.
Discipline.
When you come with my $30 to wash my car,
you get back your phone.
You get back your phone. 718-554-8598. Like, and it's something to think about.
And even within that situation, because we are talking about the road, them go back on the ends now and go tell the big homie that yo,
you know they took my phone.
Yo, son took my phone. Who took your phone, shorty?
Exactly.
Call you live.
Hello.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, he did not rob no phone. Street discipline. You throw egg on my car, wash it off, or I'm gonna keep your phone until you wash it off. You get back your phone.
Simple.
So it's not robbery.
No robbery.
Street discipline. Once you wash the car,
you get back your phone.
You get back your phone.
Yeah.
All right. Makes sense. 718-554-8598. I got a guest in the building, people. Gonna jump into that after the top of the hour. Shouts to those of you who locked in, man. And again, you know, but I'm kind of glad Halloween has faded.
In that aspect?
Now, I mean, in all aspects.
You think so?
I'm glad that it's faded.
It ain't bigger than when we did Smart.
It ain't fade, bro.
It's bigger than when we did Smart.
I tend to differ, or maybe my neighborhood may be faded because there was nobody knocking on the door this year for candy. I didn't see any goblins and Spider-Mans and Batmans in the streets walking up and down. I didn't see that. I even said to myself, damn, you know, it would probably be cool to do like a big little Halloween party for kids and that type of vibe.
Yo, no, it exists, Chin. Here's what happened, right? We live in West Indian enclaves. These kids know we ain't got giving them jack. Yesterday, one kid rang my bell. What? And I didn't have anything.
That's right.
So you know what yesterday what happened? My son and my wife and all of their little crew, they got in a car and they drove to the white neighborhood.
That's what you do.
And they came back with hundreds of cans.
Oh, wow.
They don't come to our neighborhood. They go outside.
Knows, bro.
And the neighborhood they went to, they took pictures. If you go on my IG, my wife joined. People them with lawn well decorated with all kind of trees coming, monsters come. Bridget, it just ain't in our neighborhood.
It's just not in our neighborhood.
Nobody's
ain't in our
going
neighborhood.
to the Jamaican last
And actually, last night I watched the parade in the village. They said it's the biggest one ever. Last night.
Yeah, man. Halloween bigger than when we was small.
Yeah, man.
Call you live.
Yes. Good night.
Good night, my brother.
What's up?
My take on that, okay? I mean, they throw eggs on my car more than one time since I've been in America, a few times.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't stop because people throwing eggs, I'm not going to stop, and I'm old, okay? My take on that, you know what's my take on that? The kids wrong to do what they did, but the man is dishonest. He steals from the kids.
What? He stole from the kids in your take. I mean, everybody can analyze this situation their own way.
Yeah.
So you think he stole from the kids, so it's robbery.
He's dishonest.
He's dishonest. Okay.
I would look at kids and take like the phone from them or want the sneakers and all that. That's gross, man.
So what would you say then about the man who caught my brethren back in the day when we were kids and beat him because he threw eggs on his car?
He's wrong too. I wouldn't come out and beat. Everybody think about him.
Well, me say beat him, I'm not talking about with a belt, but I'm talking about punch him up and shake him up.
No, I wouldn't hit him.
You wouldn't hit him?
Would I hit the kid? No.
You wouldn't hit the kid? Okay.
It depends on...
In these days, I know a lot. I'm calling from Connecticut, okay?
Shouts to everybody in Connecticut locked in.
If you attack any one of those kids, 3, 4, 5 of them, you might end up getting killed. These kids now are different kind of kids from back then.
They're not taking it.
Yeah.
They're not taking it.
Because right now, if I go anywhere like to buy something, today no one don't get a liquor from a package store or places. Any place I stop, I make sure I custom stop in there. I'm not stopping at any unusual place. No, not this guy. Because I'm old.
So you know nothing.
And them kids, they don't have no manners. They wasn't brought up. I was born with old people, so I know what I'm talking about. I'm from Jamaica, but I'm a grandmother raised me. I've never been in any kind of trouble, thank God. But these kids, you can't attack them like that. They will kill you. 3, 4, 5 of them will kill you.
You know, I would take the conversation even a little further. it's not only the kids. It's just this time we living in.
Yeah.
The new generation is worse than we were when we were kids. But this time, because some of the adults, they lose it quicker than, they listen. Let's all not forget the pregnant woman, Yankee woman, that went into the Jamaican store in the Bronx for a party, and there was no parties, so she shut up the Jamaican store, and it was a wrap because she couldn't get in a party. Right? So we living in different times. Come on now. You guys act like these are fake things that we talk about.
Man, real sitting.
Shut up the people them store the car.
Big pregnant belly.
She's pregnant, and I guess her belly, I tell her, she need party.
It, bro.
She got a party, and she probably said, yo, every time I come in here, you ain't got no patties.
True, we ain't got that.
Spicy beef.
We don't have that.
Much of it, please.
We don't have that.
Oh, man.
If you were a media house, you kind of had to get wind up in it because everybody else was talking about it, right? But I want to catch up with a lot of stuff. So I got some topics to talk about, some things that I think you guys need to hear and know about. I'm going to even see, I'm not going to promise you, but I'm going to see if we can touch base with one of our immigration affiliates here at Soundchat Radio, because some of you are not understanding what's going to be taking place come November 7th with this whole mandatory vaccine to enter America, and people not understanding who needs to be vaccinated and who can be not vaccinated. So I want to help you guys clear that up. Got a guest in studio. He's going to be dropping in on the other side of the top of the hour. We are Soundchat Radio, of course. Those of you who are locked in, stay locked in because we're going to go right through the top of the hour. Those of you who are listening through our 31 streaming partners, we'll be back about 6 minutes after the top of the hour. Keep it locked and don't go nowhere. It's the international show on your radio. I just think that this needs to be done, and it needs to continue being done. And, I have my own analogies. You guys know how much I advocate for the veteran artists, them and the music and blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing. Our vocalists sing over American popular songs, right? Sometimes they sing over classic American songs. Sometimes they sing over the hot American songs right now. And we're okay with that. So why should we not be okay with them bringing forward our musical culture to the existing generation? I don't understand when some of you say, yo, why Christopher Martin go touch that song there? Why Romain go do that? And I'm saying, but these are our songs. Would you rather them sing somebody else's song? Or would you rather them bring forth the Dennis Browns them and the John Holtz and, the Alton Ellises to the existing generation?
Here's my issue, right? If they're going to bring it forward, I need some kind of process when the song is being made where they're letting the newer generation know that this isn't an original song. This is from one of our people them. Rather than you just hear a man sing a song and say, yo, you feel him singing.
No, but I the selector them are the people that want to play the song.
I ain't worried about no selector.
No,
it would be good. I get it.
So what am I supposed to say?
No, what I'm saying, no, I'm not saying that.
So
but it would be good that some type of merit is given to the original.
Exactly.
Because you want, one of the things that we're lacking in our culture is that bringing forth of the old generation.
Right.
Our thing just stays so. Our thing just keeps rolling and rolling and rolling downhill, right? So you kind of want that. But let's say we're not getting that. At least we should be able to introduce the classics to the new generation. And even if they don't know that it's an old song, at least now they know the words of that consciousness in their time.
And not only that, what's going to end up happening is this, as it always does, when they're playing when they're playing what they think is a new song, somebody older than them is going to look and say, youth, you don't know what Gregory sing that song there.
Sir.
And then make him hear the Gregory.
Sir, old people and young people are not sharing the same space.
Bro.
They're not going to be in a party and no old head is going to go over and say, hey, Barris, you ain't nobody going to say like, walk with that or whatever. But I just think in the intro of the song, you just say something like, oh, the phone. All
right, here's what I'm going to say. And then we can, spiral into
back from the top of the
our next vibe, right? Because, we're pretty much back from the top of the hour in a couple seconds, right? This is what I would like to say. we have some really good songwriters in our culture.
Definitely.
Really good, exceptional songwriters in our culture. In fact, not all of our top vocalists are actually top songwriters, but our culture has another culture of uncredited songwriters.
True.
That's really, really good with wording and melody and all of that, right? Now, my thing is that even when they don't give the credit, even though it would be best that they did, though that wording and that artistry still stays in the culture and it goes to another generation. It's important because all these artists is going to end up doing, if that is not allowed, they're going to start singing over the regular R&B songs. That's not going to do anything for us.
No, man, we want to hear our song there, man.
And
so Two Berry song forget sing over.
Yes.
True, but
You understand?
yeah, I would just like to counter him one more time. Don't put nothing in the hands of Selector to introduce anything to anybody. Because most of your compatriots don't even know the original song in the first place. The song,
Only the ones you listen to, like Chuckle Bus.
For them, money is just an MP3 with them getting on a computer. Them don't know Dennis Brown Murphy from Dennis Black. Okay? So they can't be the ones that teach nobody nothing.
So we leave it there. 718-554-8598 is that number in studio. It is Sound Chat Radio up in your ears. 718-554-8598. There's so much to talk about, but I want to introduce a brethren to you guys. He's in studio. So stick and stay. Get ready to turn up your radios loud. Get ready to get some great conversation, because it's not only about new music. It's about conversation as well, right? And it's about talent. I want to know my thing already. When I tell you that I have somebody in my presence that has talent, you know that nobody can pay me to say that. And I haven't seen him in a while. A long while. And of course, I think the pandemic would play a role in the fact that I haven't seen him in a while. Before I introduce him and try to get you guys to understand his journey and his story, I am going to tell you that he's one of the most talented artists that I've ran into over our trot. And here's the thing. Not all of the talents in our culture has been fully discovered yet. Some of them has been around in the industry for a while, putting in the work, but that full exposure has not come their way. So it's kind of the responsibility of people like myself and others that know who has the talent and where the talent is, to kind of let you guys know where the talent is, right? Now, nowadays, I don't even know how to introduce you nowadays, bruh. But I'm just going to say this brethren is one of the most talented brethren. If you were to talk to the average artist in Jamaica, they're going to co-sign what I'm saying to you, right? He's been, how long have you been in the music, by the way?
Seriously, 97.
97. Working with pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
Get a little closer to the mic so the audience can hear you.
Well, go on.
Now, once upon a time, you went by the name of Siobhan.
Yeah.
And now I hear people, oh, now I know who you're talking about. So once upon a time, you went by the name Siobhan, and you worked with pretty much everyone.
Yeah.
What was that like before we get to where you are now?
School. It was a vibe. It was a vibe to like do what I love, and learn so much from it too. You know what I mean? Still learning now, so it's not as if the shift with the name change means I stopped going to school. But it was school too. It was a nice, pleasurable journey, representing like that part of the catalog.
That part of the catalog. Just to create the awareness to those of you who might be listening and saying, who the hell is Chin talking to? Let me do this. You're extremely talented, as I just said, but them say they want you talk up.
Talk up. All right, man, talk up. Man,
Them say your sound. You come across a little bit down, and them want you talk up.
I'm super chill. That's my vibe. I'm really chill, you know. But man, make sure I talk louder now. Make sure. You hear me, everybody? Wagwan.
So now you are choir.
Yes.
And I know that every interview you take, people ask you why the change and what's going on with the career, and you know, let's start there. Let's get into that, man. Let's jump into that. By the way, the last time I ran into you, let me tell you where it was. The last time I ran into you, I saw you at Rory's studio.
Yeah.
You were doing some work with Rory.
Yeah.
Did that work ever manifest?
Yeah. Like we do so much. I do so much work, like with vocal arrangement with Rory, that he'll put out stuff and he'll be like, "Oh yeah, you know, I'm put that out long time." And like I don't keep check sometimes, but yeah, whole heap of work with Rory.
Yeah, man, a whole heap of work with Rory. I think I went to check Rory maybe two times or three times, and you were there in the booth working and doing your thing. What's that experience like, working with like a dancehall genius like Rory?
It's a joy, cause you know how Rory is. Like he allows me to interpret what he's put forward, and then that's good to like as a vocal arranger, where I can get the chance to kind of put things together and kind of show him how I see what he's brought to it. It's a beautiful thing for us work with him, and his ears is a whole different kind of perspective, like different from the other musicians I have around me and things, the Dean Fraser and things. Like it's great working with all of these people, but Rory as a sound king is a thing when I'm in the studio, like him. I don't know if you explained it properly. It was a joy.
Who else brings out the best in you?
I think all the people that work with them pull out a different side of the best of me. Like it's different angles to it, you know what I mean? Dean Fraser is a powerhouse, Clive Hunt is a powerhouse, Intl Tucker is a powerhouse. Working with them, man, is just a joy. I don't want to not call my name Mikey Bennett, you know what I mean? But so many of them I work with, and it's a just to know that their history in music and how them teaching, again, I love being a student. So it's constantly like asking stuff and listening and hearing how they hear me versus how I hear me, you know? So it's always that thing where it pushes that growth.
And the reason why I'm asking you this is because I want the listening audience to understand that you work with the best.
Oh yeah.
And you get the respect from the best names in our industry. I mean, huge contributors. You work with them.
Yeah.
You songwrite as well, correct?
Yes.
Right? And vocally, you're just, you know, it's just there for you, man. Why changing the name?
The name was never something I focused much on.
Right.
It was always the music. So like that's where I mention it to people now. I'm like, yo, it was never about the name. People that call me Harmony this, people that call me yo singer, it never mattered to me. I think choir existed long before I recognized or admitted that it did. I've always been told that my voice always sounds like a choir singing. It's so big. I speak very soft, but when I sing, come with a fullness, you know. And earlier in the year, I was in the studio with Cranium working on his album with Pee Wee, and a brethren said, "Yo, where's everybody else?" Because I was in the studio before when he walked in. I was in the booth, and I walked out and said, "Yo, where's everybody else?" And I said, "Just me." "Yo, you sound like a choir." And me and Pee Wee looked at each other. He's like, "How we gonna spell that shit?" And I was like, "Q, let's go." And we just decided on it then. You know what I mean? It was coming though, it was always there. Like, did some work with Gang about 2 years ago, and he was saying, "Yo, I think that's a step that you have to allow yourself to take, like shifting that narrative and just kind of allowing a name to represent your sound. Yeah, your name is gonna always be your government name. Siobhan is my government name. But like a sound, a name that defines the sound, and not just the sound of my voice, but where I want my music to go. And I mean, I love Jamaican music, but I always allow myself to create a genre and create something with the fusion of what I grew up listening to and the Jamaican fullness that I have in me too.
We're speaking about the voice choir, right? And there's no way we can go forward without people actually hearing your voice. So I want you to act as if this is the first time, because this is your first time on Soundchat Radio, correct? No, you've been on the platform before when we were on Linden.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Upstairs.
Yes.
I was here with Riff Raff. We were premiering Distance.
His name is Choir, people.
QYOR, everybody.
And he does have this crazy voice, and everyone in the industry is just so overwhelmed by it. Would you drop a couple of lines for us, just to get that vibe while we're talking? Any one of your favorite songs?
That's serious. Wow, that's hard.
I caught you off guard.
Yeah, cause like, what heap of songs like is a favorite to me.
I just want to get the tone. I want our listeners to understand why you're being called choir.
Oh, I get you. Wow. Yeah. Hard to choose one.
Roses and Candy.
Quiet giants rule the kingdom, but in their time of need, who will the strong ones lean on? Quiet giants, you don't see them, but you see the work they do to serve us all.
So we have a new trot.
Yeah.
Well, it's same trot, different name.
Yeah.
What are we working with, and how are we moving forward?
It's more of a comfort and confidence with like the sound that I am defining, which is soul, X-O-U-L. It's exotic soul. It's a sense of Jamaicanness, which is never going to be outside of me. But a certain soul that, if you listen to the first song I did as a gospel artist on Prodigal Sons album, that's all I brought to it. Come straight through to C-sharp stuff, working with Rebel, Rita Marley, everybody that I've worked with. I've always brought a certain amount of soul. And I stood beside that proudly. I stood beside it. But now I'm standing more beside it proudly, knowing that that's my sound. I'm not a reggae singer, I'm not a dancehall singer, I'm not a pop singer, I'm not nothing. I'm a soul singer, but I sing on all these genres of music, you know what I mean? But this is what I bring to the table as an artist. The genre doesn't define me. I am the genre.
You are the genre. 718-554-8598 is that number in studio. Choir's in the building, and we're just talking about his contributions and his career moving forward. Extremely talented singer. You play instruments as well, correct?
Yeah.
What are you playing?
Drums and first instrument, but I play keyboards as well when I'm writing and things. Yeah.
Are you still doing a lot of writing?
Yeah.
Have you written for other artists as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've written a good amount of stuff for Jacure. Written stuff
How does that go, Choir? Is it a situation where do you sit down, and I'm trying to get into your creative now, right? Do you sit down and say, I'm gonna write a song for Jacure or for any other artist, or you just write a thing and then you figure out who it fits?
With every artist I work with, it's very different. Like back when Cure was finishing his sentence, back in like 07, 08, we talk about stuff we want to give to, share with him for when he steps out, and just that representation. And myself, Makian and Sharita, two other singers and songwriters that I work with very closely. We wrote You'll Never Find, we wrote Straight From My Heart, Midst of the Fire, a couple songs we wrote for him for when he was supposed to, when he steps out, and it was good reception and thing. And after that we just started writing more. And it varies, like he might have been in one session and then he was talking on the phone for another session, but now working in the studio like with Cranium, working on stuff for his album. His album is done now, but like working with him is a whole different vibe too. Just as working with Dexter Daps is a different vibe, working with Agent Sasko is a different vibe, Queen Africa is a different vibe. So each artist I work with is always a different kind of energy, but I'm always open to that because that's me.
How does it go? How does the process go? Do they usually reach out and say, Choir, come in, I'm gonna need some of your vibes on the album, yeah? Or is it a situation where you reach out to them?
It happens both ways. Like, with Cure, it was Dwayne Stevenson who wrote a lot of stuff for Cure before, with Cure before. And he was like, yo, I want you to take on these amount of songs, and we did that. And then afterwards, like Agent Sasko, I think his leg was broken a few years back, and he linked up with us on Unga, which is Notice, and we started working on stuff, and in years passed, and he's like, yo, we should link up again. And then that's when I worked on Hope River and Agent Sasko versus Assassin last time. So it varies. Work with Dexter, I've done vocal arrangement for him, and then when he was doing his project, he was like, yo, let's work, and that was it too. So it varies. Sometimes I reach out. Sometimes
they reach out, and sometimes they reach out to you. The song that you just sung was for Unsung Heroes, correct?
Quiet Giants, yeah.
Yeah, Quiet Giants. Talk to me about that project.
It's a song that it came out of a conversation between me and my brethren. Them, we were at a show and somebody was talking around us like, "Yo, you don't know who that? You don't know who that?" And they were talking really highly of us. And myself, Jesse Roy, and Unga were there talking. And I said, "Yo, we're really just like elephants. Like I consider myself as an elephant, quiet, but a giant."
Right.
And he's just in the conversation. He's like, "Yo, let's finish this song." And we had it for 2 years, just kind of figuring out where to go. And then in working with Sasko, I was like, "Yo, bro, I need a verse." And he's like, "All right, cool." And we just did it, and Ineffable distributed it. And it was something that was important. The timing was so important because we had it for so long and we didn't release it. But with everything that was happening at the top of 2020, it was like, yo, we can't hold on to this song anymore. Like the people who are out there risking their lives, trying to create a balance, like they need something to listen to feel inspired. And it's not as if we didn't have the song before. We didn't write it for the pandemic, but we wrote it and released it in time for people to feel more hope amidst everything that was happening too.
I think I've known you for a really long time. We've known each other. And I always see you as this humble brethren, right? Soft-spoken, extremely humble, extremely talented. Is it like you never wanted to play the front row and you always wanted to be in the back? Is that what your approach has always been?
Before, no, I never focused on myself. It was always about it was always about how to support everybody before supporting me. And it was a joy. It's what I grew up in. I grew up in the church. You think about put this before yourself, and it's always that kind of sacrificial love you show to yourself more than creating a balance of how to give and how to receive, and being comfortable receiving. There are a whole heap of people who I've worked with who wanted to like give me a certain energy and support my dreams, and I was always focused on, no man, let me just deal with your thing first.
See.
And so now I'm at a point where it's important for me to fulfill this leg of purpose. In a very confident and driven way. I'm not losing myself though. I am a soft-spoken being, but I'm a powerhouse, and I have to accept that too, you know. Powerhouse doesn't mean that we have to be loud, but we're potent, just the same.
You have some new projects.
Yeah.
You have some new projects, some new choir projects. I was checking out the video for the big song with you, and and like wow, you know, and it was kind of crazy because I didn't know that there was a name change, right? So I saw the name on the popular single, and I'm like, okay, cool. There's a new artist in town. This guy sounds extremely well. He's wicked, right? And then I was watching the video, and I'm like, oh, maybe they must be related because this guy looks so much like my brethren Siobhan. I'm being honest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm looking at it and I'm like, yo.
Must be him cousin.
Somebody. But him sound good, you know? And then I got the opportunity to find out that, you made a switch in name, which is cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the name doesn't change the talent. The song is wicked. How did you get Dexter and Cranium together to do a song?
It's the same collaboration behind the scenes. Like it's there, like they respect me, I respect them, and we're working together on their projects, and they're like, yo, play something for me that you're working on, you know what I mean? But initially B-High started when Cranium came to Jamaica to work on his album, and we're in the studio with Stax, and he's like, Stax, I needed to go home and find something for choir for him to create his sound on, something different that you've never heard him on, and we're gonna meet at the studio tomorrow. And Stax woke me up in the morning with a beat, and I was up listening like, wow, different. I don't usually write for rhythms. I'm a creator, so I do stuff from scratch, production-wise, everything. But that rhythm was just saying it, and went to the studio and started writing, and Cranium was there, and we finished my part there. He went to LA afterwards, and he finished his verse. Then after that, I was working on Vent with Dexter. And he's like, yo, play something for me that you have. I want to hear where you work on. Played it for him, and he's like, let's go. And I mean, I found out afterwards that there are a whole heap of people who was trying to get them two giants up.
Listen, and again, right? Before we go to that project, I just want to say this because it has been trying to be done for quite a few times to get them to do something together because of what both of them represent and the popularity of both artists, right? And then I hear that Choir brings Dexter and Cranium together, and I'm like, okay, cool. Who's this guy? You know what I mean? Because
who could he be?
Yeah, I didn't know. You know, I just didn't know. But after a while, when I heard the track, I was like, well, you know, whoever he is, it's a good look. It's a great song. You know what I mean? And now to know that it was you that did it, it's even more energy for me because I know that you've been there from day one, putting in the work. I just wanted to ask you what your position was on the field because, again, I always saw you as that humble person that would say, yeah, man, go on in front of me. Yeah, man, go on in front of me. Yeah, man, my dad still go on in front of me. You know what I mean? And I would see you putting in the work at the studios. You know what I mean? I know that people reach out to you for the vocals. So some of these questions that I'm even talking to you about, I know the answer to them already. But I want the audience to understand where your trot is so they can have a greater appreciation for your contribution. This song is wicked.
Give thanks.
Straight. And it was something that when we heard it, we were like, oh, wow, this is big. This is wicked. Now, it took some people a little while to realize that it was a weed song. Is it a weed song?
Is it a weed song? It's a hopeful song. It's a hopeful song. It's the same thing like for me, and I can only speak my language. I love marijuana, so I'm not trying to
go around it. Right.
We're not go around it. But of course, there are people who understand the big craze that's been happening with marijuana. All of a sudden, they go with decriminalization and all that. So it will work in that line. But for me, it was still another hopeful song, like Quiet Giants, where in the midst of everything that's happening, let's give people something else to hold our vibe, to take their mind off of that. With everything that's happening on the ground, let's stay up there. Let's get out of the zone a little bit, and that's what Beehive is.
Choir's in the building, people, and this song is definitely awesome. Choir, man, I am extremely proud of you, bro.
Give thanks.
I mean, I've seen the growth. You know, I'm one of the privileged people to be behind the scenes in the music to also understand what's happening. It's almost like, you know, if you want to look at our industry as a factory, and most people only see the products that come out of the factory, but they don't understand the people who work on the machines and, you know, oil them and tune them up and fix them when they're broken and select the employees to run that said machine and all of that stuff that goes in the factory, that happens in the factory. And I mean, I've been able to sit in the factory and really realize that you are one of those people that's been there. And as we said earlier in the conversation, which I think is the most important part of the conversation, is that Choir has been so supportive to some of the major acts in our culture. You know what I mean? He's one of the go-to persons when they're trying to get a hit song or when they're trying to get a good vocal arrangement on a song. And he's just been sitting there and saying, yeah, man, you go. Yeah, man, you go. Yeah, man, you go and go turn star. Yeah, man, you go do this. Yeah, man, you go number one. And he's been sitting there, and now you're saying that, you know, you're ready to send Choir to number one.
Yeah, man, off the bench.
And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I believe that if anybody has a perfect understanding of what it takes to be successful and what type of sound is needed out there, would be you, because you have helped so much people get their sound out there. You know what I mean? So I don't see anything but success for you. You know what I mean? And because I know that you're soft-spoken and humble, like you're one of the most humblest people that I've seen in the industry. Like it's just, well, go on, you good? All right, cool, I'm gone. It's not like I'm sure if I didn't ask you about all of these projects that you were working on, you probably wouldn't have said anything.
Yeah, you know, I would. Now I would.
Now you would.
Yeah, it's a thing where at some point you have to just cut the crap and stop the holding back part.
When did you come to that reality?
It's been in the works. When it's like a couple years ago, I cut my hair all off, go back like skull, and my hair was long, you know. I'm gonna say, yo, there have to be a change. Like you have to shift it. It have to be something, and you have to just sometimes shock yourself. Drastic motion, and just make it happen. And yeah, it will grow back. Yeah, man, throw away them thing there. Some new thing will forward. Stop going them places. Some new places will call you. You know, show up in some places and be uncomfortable because, yeah, them never invite you, but you show up. Yeah, me not book feet, but me I look feet. You ready feet, you know what I mean? And I've always been equipped. So why me I hold back myself? That don't make no sense. So that's what I'm doing right now.
I feel a high level of confidence, bro.
Yeah, give
and
thanks.
I'm proud of that, man. I feel a high level of confidence. The work speaks for itself. Do you have an album coming out, or what are you working on?
Yeah, we are working on a project for spring, which is something I'm very excited about. I've had a lot of songs complete for a while. I mean, Quiet Giants was the beginning of me like deciding to do a certain sound, which is my sound, soul. And that was Quiet Giants. I put out Caramel Indigo and Always since then. And the top of this year, I gave them something very reggae with Kurt Riley. Put it out called Wake Up and Live. And that was a beautiful song. We wanted to release it last year because the plan was to step forward this year with a new name and kind of defining a certain thing. But it worked out in perfect timing too. It was a blessing. So check it out, everybody. Wake Up and Live by Siobhan.
Where can they find your music?
You can find it everywhere. Like, if you want to find the old catalog, you know to find me. CheVaughn. New catalog, QYOR, everywhere. I Am Choir. IAMQYOR on our social media. So we're there putting out a new song this Friday. And that's what I'm super excited about as well.
What's the name of that one?
Ghetto Youth.
You're working with a bunch of big people, man.
Yeah, people women know for the longest while too. It's just that now I'm saying yes to the support that they've always wanted to give. You see me?
Seen.
So it's just divine timing to we give thanks for that.
So before, you think you just wasn't ready for it?
It was I wasn't clear that it was something that I wanted to do. Like it grew, as I said, like even the humble conversation is something that I reason with people about, and is a thing where I'm a peaceful person. I'm a laid back person, and it's not always the best thing. You grow up here and it's like humble kid, I drink the most milk, and it's a thing you're supposed to aspire to be. And it's not that I have anything against humility. It's just that when you put yourself in the position to be so humble that you suffer, don't make a sense. It don't add up. So even though I know that within me there's a certain amount of divine humility, I'm not about to like throw in my own food.
Right.
No.
So y'all go feed now.
Eat.
Y'all go feed.
Straight.
His name is Choir, man, and again, awesome talent. People, we always talk about the fact that music coming out of Jamaica is not as good as we want it to be, and blah blah blah. You guys know the conversations that we have here. So when the music is great, you know what I mean, support the artists, because them say encouragement sweeten labor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. So the artists go out there and give you something good. And if you want something good again, you got to show them that you respected the first thing that they get put out. You know what I mean? That encourages the second and the third and the fourth, right? Choir is his name. Great brethren. I know that he says he's done with the humbleness, but I think that there will always be a part of his demeanor that will just stay humble. That's just the person that he is, people. And you really don't find people in our industry with so much talent that can just keep them thing on a level, you know what I mean? So big up my brother. Feel free to stop by at any time with the new music. I want to be part of the choir trot.
Give thanks.
You know what I mean?
Join the choir, everybody.
Yeah, I want to join the choir. Yes. That sounds good.
That's the hashtag.
That's the hashtag. Join the choir. Yes, join the choir.
Man.
Right? I want to be part of the choir. I want to join the choir. We want to join the choir here at Soundchat TV and just be part of something great, because we know that you're great.
Give thanks for the years, confidence in the eye as well.
Give thanks, man.
It's years of reasonings we have, and you know it go like sometimes people will give up on ones when them don't see them pushing enough, you know. And I mean, for the ones that never give up on me, I give thanks for that in an immense way.
Seen.
I feel like I take it lightly.
Yeah, now it's your time to just make us proud.
Yeah, give thanks.
And I believe that's where you're headed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So big up with the work and shows coming up and stuff like that.
Music put out. You know, with everything that's happening in the world, right. We have to kind of like align ourselves in a way for kind of. You know.
I want to see you and Dexter and Cranium perform that song though. I would love to see that happen, man. That you got to make happen, because you made the song happen, right? Now it's not only good enough to be on video. Right? Yeah. And shouts to Pee Wee, because Pee Wee's probably listening. If he's not listening, he's gonna hear the recording of this, right? Yeah. We gotta make that happen. I wanna see the three of you guys on a show together tearing it down.
Yo, we've come so close to making that happen, and we're getting closer. It's going to happen very soon. Because we've been in the studio together even recently, like just been in the same space so many times, but just to kind of grab ourselves to do a performance of the song. It hasn't happened yet, but it's happening soon. Look out, feed the world.
Give thanks and give people all your social media handles and everything that you need to give them now.
Everybody find me at I Am Choir, IAMQYOR everywhere. That's iamchoir@gmail.com. That's I Am Choir on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. I Am Choir, AMQYOR. Give thanks again for everybody who's listening. Just continue to open up your heart to more good music. There's a whole heap of good music, as you said, coming out of Jamaica and from Jamaican, core Jamaican people, you know what I mean? Like, appreciate it more than like judge it, you know what I mean?
Right.
Allow the artists to define their sound and respect what they're bringing and not being a copycat, but being themselves, you know? Allow us more. Because that's what shifts the...
Maybe you could hashtag that as well, allow us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Allow us to do our thing.
Straight.
Right? Even though Drew don't want to see you guys do your thing.
No, hold on. So even though I know it's not a part of it, but earlier I was saying, and you said, boy, it's not the same place, the older people and younger people now. I was saying the phone.
True.
Because that's our space now. Like, that's where we meet. We all meet in that space now. So the older ones can teach the younger ones on that platform. The older ones can listen and learn as well from the younger ones too. And that's a space for it. I've done covers. The artists who I did it for, some of them not alive, some of them who are alive never talk about it. So then people in their space wouldn't even know, say, yo, the younger artists want people to know it's you, because you don't even co-sign the younger artists.
True.
So we have to also be honest with ourselves, with how we support each other, younger and older artists too. But big up the older ones who do support the younger ones, and the younger ones who revere and respect the older ones. Wow, straight.
We still can't depend on the DJ though.
I mean, no, you can't. Them in the zone. Them a play like them. Sometimes them not think say, yeah, man.
I just be my fleet.
Come on, we can't lose everything.
I'm a bridging, you know what I mean? So if I gonna do that, that's what them say.
I thought, and again, you know, I think I opened a can of worms here, right? So I'm now getting a request, and I thought this person was saying I'm on my way home, but they're actually asking you to sing a song called "My Way Home."
Oh, though the load is heavy and the road is long, help me find my way home. Though my knees get weak and sometimes I feel lost, help me find my way home. Yeah, that's My Way with a Bridget of mine, Makian, same songwriter I was telling you about.
Is this choir?
No,
that was like 2016, 2017.
So you see, you're not going to be able to get away from some of your fans.
No, I don't want to.
Yeah.
No, so just to be very clear, me shifting my name is really about a representation of what I have to forward.
Right.
Never a dismissal of what I've done. I've done great music, and I hope that the world continues to find the stuff that I've done. A lot of things I'm going to put out, people still don't know it.
Right.
So it's always finding new ways of sharing what has been already shared to new people. And that's what it is right now.
So when the choir steps on stage, right, and clarify this for everyone who's listening, when the choir steps on stage, we will be getting your catalog.
Choir has been there from the get-go. I just never stood up beside the name until now.
Right. All right. Phone lines are well, I think I missed that call because I asked you to sing, but it's all good. Person, call back, please.
Call back.
My WhatsApp is blazing. I'm hearing that song is so big.
Yeah.
Right. So again, you know, big up. Oh, you have it. Okay, cool. Let me just take this call. And we'll go to the top of the hour. Those of you more interesting conversations on the other side of the hour. I'm gonna see if I can get my hands on the Emmy lawyer. Right, because I think this whole vaccine requirement or mandatory requirement is kind of confusing a lot of you, and I don't want some of you to go on vacation or go bury somebody who passed away in the family, or forgo, you know, some of the top parties in Jamaica and find that you can't come back and that's what's gonna happen to a lot of you. So I feel like since we have the platform,
might as well share
you know,
it,
and you guys love the platform so much, I can help you out, right? Choir is laughing his ass off right now. Call you live.
Facts, yo.
Big up Soundchat, big up Drew, Iron White, Choir, big up yourself, man. It's a good look, man.
Full of love.
Good look, Bridget.
Respect.
Yeah, man, but more I ask you, when I talk about Pee-wee, a Pee-wee from Yellow Bird you talk about?
Yeah, man, same Yellow Bird Pee-wee, man.
Oh, all right, so big up Pee-wee.
Yeah, man, big up Pee-wee, fully.
Yeah, man, big up Pee-wee. I'm going to do your thing, my youth, man.
Yeah,
you go have God, respect.
Give thanks.
And big up Soundchat again.
Give thanks, brother. Yo, Pee-wee's a great friend of mine, man, and Pee-wee's somebody will call me out of the blue and just wild me up on something that he thinks that, yeah, and I respect that because, you know, he'll be like, yo, Chin, that interview that you got with such and such is valuable, bro. You dealing with it like it's just some regular thing. Get on it. Yo, get out of that old time stuff, man. Hop on that social media. Do what the kids are doing, bro. What are you doing? You know? And I respect him for that. You know? And I've always thought in the front of my mind that the people, if I could snap my fingers and change the industry, I would give the people the qualified positions who actually have the resume. Not the ones that went to school for marketing and blah, 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 but the ones who have been part of the market. You know what I mean? The people who have been working in the ground, like, so, myself and Pee Wee, we're coming from rolling wire and lifting speaker boxes and trying to bust parties and begging promoters to put us on dances and all of that. So it's great that, and it's not only me and Pee Wee, but it's a bunch of us. It's great when I can see the brethrens them in, decision-making situations that, that can help elevate somebody else's career, because I feel like they earned it. You know what I mean? If you play in a party long enough, right? And you bust the dance long enough and you're able to go to the studio and make these dub plates that's getting forwards, then why not turn yourself into a producer? Why not try to turn yourself into somebody who can manage an artist and teach them? Because who knows more about how to get a forward in a dance than a selector?
It's true.
It's true.
You know what I mean? So I think that when everybody's getting the bachelors and the masters and such, the real people that need those positions is the ones that got they did the groundwork.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. We started the conversation speaking about Rory. You know what I mean? There has to be a place and a position for some of them, man, in our music.
Yeah, we have to do it.
Right.
We have to do that. Like, we just have to, don't bullshit. Do it.
Right.
Who the people are. When you look at Calvin Harris and David Guetta, those, some other man in the music, as producers now who make hits, make them pop hits. They're DJs. And there's a reason why they can make these records that are so good. The reason why they are part of these records that are so great, because they already know the ears.
Right.
You can't, it's not that them alone going to do it, but they are part of the process.
They're part of it. And
the valuable part of the process.
If you are a DJ, think about, back in the days, those of you who are DJs, shouts to Junior P, my brother Junior P locked in, right? Soul Supreme family. When you were DJ, you go into a dance and you hear a song, and that song gives you this feeling like, yo, I gotta go cut this on dub. Or, yo, that song that bad, me I forget a gun salute, finger gun salute, whatever, right? And I think that same energy can be applied to you producing music, and you should know when you run into a choir and choir sing a song. If you not get that feeling there, then it's not a hit.
It's not a hit, man.
But and if you get the feeling, it's like, yo, this I go work.
This I go hit them.
But again, we can have another conversation, but we leave it for another time on Thursday, that, a lot of the sound system men don't know how to elevate themselves into more useful parts of the industry. So you have this experience that you really don't know you have, because you think that your only talent is creating dub plates. But those who create dub plates from scratch and them go to a choir and say, choir, I want you to sing this and say this and Ray and engineer, I want you to punch out your some. You're really producing something.
A song.
Fully,
it's true.
Fully. Big up Kurt Riley as well.
Right. Yeah, big up Kurt Riley.
Straight.
You're producing. So many of us might want to explore that. Some of us may not want to do the level of producing, maybe managing. Because also, when we are juggling a dance hall and the crowd that go crazy, that alone is our practice on how to motivate an audience. So when we put our artists on stage, we can say, DJ, say, you sing the song too long, Go punchline, you saw, You know what I mean? Make the band give you a one drop, you saw, Singer, I saw you for run out,
Start with a song there. Make sure
exactly.
It's a very important
This one
art.
work.
It's a very important art.
And I think so much of us possess it, but choir, we don't know. Because our visions are so limited. But if I could snap my fingers, man, I would really like to change, because some of these people who are execs at record labels, they don't know anything. You know what I mean?
They stay in the office.
They stay in the office. And some of the top record companies who are looking to exploit the music, right? And again, I'm using exploit as a good word, not as a bad word, because things that are good are to be exploited, right? But I think that they don't know. And I think that a lot of the reason why our music fails at the big labels is because they need to go get one of these street kids like a Pee-wee.
Or we have to make sure that we mention
exactly
people to them.
And put them in those chairs.
Straight.
To say, hey, here's a, Drew. This is his resume, right? Put him in this position and, just run your ideas around him and he'll tell you what could work and what's practical and what's not practical, right? And when we go to the hip hop shows or the R&B shows, then you lead us and tell us what to do because that's not our culture.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that would work better. But again, what do I know?
Yeah, you know what? It's true. Like it is a reason why we have to be comfortable. We have to be comfortable talking about it too, and co-signing our own. As it
right.
Like we can't wait on them to come through the culture and find and pick. Nah, we already know.
You already know.
Come on, mention the people who you know are good at what they do.
Yeah, man.
You know. All right, cool. 718-554-8598 is that number in the studio. Choir, give them the links one more time before we go to commercial break, please.
IAMQIOR everywhere. IAMQIOR. I am Choir at Gmail. I am Choir at Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere.
Thank you so much for passing through, brother. It was a pleasure.
So much, man. Thanks so much for having me, man. You don't know. Give thanks for the love. Honor, respect. Zine, big up everybody who's listening. Go on through, follow the music. Get a Youth out this Friday, the 5th of the 11th. Zine, check it out. It's going to be amazing. And bless your soul same way too.
You know what? Let me do this. I think we need to focus on this whole vaccine situation as it results or as it affects traveling. Because some of us are uninformed. And because we are so uninformed, we're going to get caught up. Now, there's a lot of stuff going on with this vaccine. In addition to KFC giving away free chicken for vaccines, which we will get to that.
I'd like to salute that because,
well played.
Right? Well, there's just a lot of stuff going on. But let me just throw something out to the Monday audience, right? That some of you may not know. Up until this point, Jamaica has disposed of 200,000, over 200,000 vaccines, unused vaccines. The vaccines came to Jamaica, whether they were bought by Jamaica or donated by other countries, right? Each vaccine cost a total of $4 US, right? And the vaccines were dumped. And the quantity of vaccines that is being dumped is getting larger and larger and larger every time vaccines are supposed to be dumped. Why are the vaccines being dumped? Because they expired. And once the expiration date comes, they're no longer good to, for people to get the joke, as many people call it, the joke, right? Jamaica has the largest quantity of vaccines in the Caribbean. However, the lowest quantity of people vaccinated. Right. There is a large number of people who took the first joke and just never showed up for the second joke. So this is, I'm setting the tone for the conversation right now, right? Naturally, we have the artists who have been saying they're not take the vaccine. The vaccine is not good. The government have forced the vaccine. Blah, 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 blah. No, I'm not here to tell you guys whether you should take it or not take it. What I am here for is great conversation. This is good conversation, right? And we're going to give you guys some good information from somebody who their profession is to give you immigration information. Because us, we just guess. Mm-hmm. Myself and Iron Voice had a back and forth on the radio. I don't know if it was Saturday or Friday or Monday or whatever, where, we were trying to figure out, define this whole, nationals.
Yeah.
What does nationals mean? And we were saying that, if you are a green card holder, then you should be able to leave the country and come back without being vaccinated, right? I am not going to answer that question. I'm going to let our IMI attorney, immigration attorney, speak about that. But before we do speak about that, I also want to jump into this whole Tanya Stephens story. Because Tanya Stephens has now said that she ain't coming back to America. She's leaving it alone. She's calling it quits, right? It's a pity, is what some fans are saying, right? To the news that Tanya Stephens has now stated that she will no longer travel to the US of A, right? Due to their COVID entry requirement for non-citizens, right? Her stance comes as no surprise, as she has always been vocal against the COVID vaccine. And in a previous post, she called for unvaccinated Jamaicans to stop paying taxes and to boycott businesses who issued mandatory vaccine orders for their staff. The entertainer continues to encourage her 89,000 Instagram followers to know their power. Tanya Stephens is being quoted by saying, if 2.5 million unvaccinated Jamaicans stop paying taxes, the economy and the government will crash. If they refuse medical care for unvaccinated, refuse taxes, strike and boycott any business that requires vaccination cards, which violates your medical privacy, is what Tanya Stephens is campaigning for. 718-554-8598 is that number in studio. Now, there is so many different angles the Tanya Stephens conversation could go. Now, me know say when I say, boy, Chin, you're not going to say nothing bad about Tanya because of your girl and your artist and your this and your that. And although all of the above is right, what I will say is that I got to give her credit. And you know why I got to give her credit? Because she preached one thing and she's standing by what she's preaching. Regardless if what she's preaching is not what you're in favor of. Because I know for a fact, right? Or I suspect, let me not say I know. I suspect for a fact that some of the artists that was anti-vaccine, when them realized that the US made this move, them are going to take the joke.
But soon say everybody are firing, man.
They're going to take the joke and go against what they were preaching. At least Tanya is saying, this is what I said in the beginning. This is what I'm saying in the ending. Now, here's the interesting thing. The way this thing is set up, you know, any you see an artist that perform in the US
after November 7th.
After November 7th,
we know.
You could assume
joke.
99% chance.
Joke.
99.9% chance.
Joke.
Them get joke.
That they took the joke.
You took the joke.
Right? So there are some of them that are, you know, they're not going to be able to hide. So they preach no vaccine, no vaccine, no vaccine to the whole of the Jamaican population and their fan base.
And jump on a plane.
And then when them realize that they can't get the next 10 grand to do a stage show, because basically what the US is doing is squeezing. They're closing the walls. I don't know if you guys ever been in one of those haunted houses or whatever they call it, the hellhole. They used to call it in I think it was Coney Island or one of those amusement parks where, you know, the floor drops from under you. The walls start to close in and you get extremely scared. Well, this is what I think is going to happen soon enough because November 7th is not here yet. I spoke to somebody yesterday and what they said to me is, yo, dog, bridging from yard, you know. Yo, me I forward this week, you know. No later than November 6th. But I didn't catch on when he was speaking to me. He said no later than November 6th because him no one get caught up in that vaccine thing. Right? Him a come for do him last shopping in a Miami. So him can, you know, do him thing for go back home to Jamaica because clearly, I guess he doesn't intend to come back here again.
And a vaccine.
Or what he might be doing is what I'm not going to call the artist's name. A lot of them are doing. They're coming to America and
to get the joke.
They're getting the joke in America. One artist that we know of came up here last week to get the Pfizer because I believe the joke that's in Jamaica is the AstraZeneca, and the Jamaicans don't trust that one.
Right.
So they've been coming up here, the ones that can afford to fly up and getting their joke in America.
But you can't fight them for that.
So this guy might be coming up to do a little bit of shopping
and get the joke.
And get the first joke.
Well, if I hear that he's back in the US after,
then we know.
November, get him second one. Then we see by the 30 days later time link here. Then you know what.
Call you live.
Chin, Tanya full of ear. Today's morning, so I can't tell you someone. And why Mr. Tanya full of beer ear is you and I know Jew. So at 20% of Jamaica people pay tax.
I was gonna wait for that, but I want to interrupt you. When she said that, Mr. Laugh, I said, which 2 million Jamaican pay tax?
20%.
That's why I was wondering what was she talking about.
Shut down which country?
And the 20% of Jamaica will pay tax already vaccinated already.
Right.
Exactly, the ones that pay taxes.
The taxpayers.
And you know the irony? I was talking about this earlier today before we came on air, not in the studio. But I don't. It is alleged that this young lady is already in America.
Yes.
Oh, that Tanya?
Yeah, she's here.
And the funny thing about it, Chin, Tanya is not telling the whole story that 90% of our artists from Jamaica are either citizens or green card holders.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Can I talk about that also?
I disagree with that. I disagrry with that. I don't think that there's no fact. I don't think there's no facts behind that. I'm going to be honest with you, right?
Name them, Chin. You and I know, because you know the business, Chin. You know half of the money where them green cards.
Listen, no. Half of the man them in the industry is not green card holders. That is not true at all. At all. I don't care what nobody wants to tell me. I don't need to see statistics to know that. I'm in the industry. What a lot of the artists them do is they are forever on work papers. That's what they do, right? So, for instance, they get a 3-year work permit, a 5-year work permit, a 1-year work permit, and because they are artists and they can prove that they are in demand, they continue to renew that. There is something about Jamaican people that they just don't want the green card. Because if you have work permits for a certain amount of time, you become eligible to file for a green card, you know. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? Those of you who are out there that's not into entertainment don't know that. If you continue to have a work permit, at some point in your career, you become eligible for a green card. And believe it or not, most of them do not take it. Because remember, the green card also requires you to be in America for a certain amount of times each year. And they do not want to commit to that. Right? Even though, and I'm going to ask the immigration lawyer when I speak to her in a few minutes, but I believe that it is illegal to have the green card and live in Jamaica. People do it, but it's not supposed to be done.
Yeah, they'll end up stopping you at the airport one of the times in your time, because my dad's friends used to do that. Had a job in Jamaica and had a green card, so he would stay down in Jamaica for a long period of time. And one time he came to the airport, they pulled him up and said, watch here, no more of this. You have to stay in America for X amount of time or you're going to lose
Are you going to lose the green card?
Yeah.
Right? So it's a myth. And if I'm telling you that a lot of them don't have green cards, then forget about citizenship.
Right.
A lot of them don't have the citizenship. Most of the industry comes here on work permits. It's just the other day, quite a few of them start looking smart and started to marry and do other things to get the green card. So you better bet your bottom dollar, as the people say, that this thing is gonna affect some of the artists then, right? Because here's the thing. Now if them are go for the green card, them have to have the joke.
Yep.
So if they didn't have the green card before and they want to become a green card holder now, they gotta get the joke. Call it live.
Yes, Chin.
Easy, Amster.
Yes, you see, with most of these artists, them bow out for the money.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. You see, like me not bow down for no money.
I hear you,
Amster.
Yeah. Because them don't practice what them preach. Them just talk and don't stand them ground.
100%. Give thanks.
Yeah. All right.
718-554-8598, which brings us to the headline story of today, right? Which would be free KFC for vaccinations.
Let me tell you something.
That'll work.
This is going to sound so ironic, but when I saw this yesterday, right, I was actually excited about it. and here's the reason why I'm excited about it. Because I even quoted Chin. Mm-hmm. I was like, you know, when you say bingo,
yeah, man.
It's like, you know how long Tufton there Jamaica try find it and couldn't find it?
Find it, man.
And when the man go, me know say two things Jamaican people loving. Phone card
and KFC.
And KFC. And the man married the two of them. Because you know, Jamaica love married things that people love.
Yeah, man.
The man bring the combo to.
You see? You see?
And the lines were incredible.
And the man said, bingo.
Yo, Star. It was a stroke of genius. It sounds stereotypical and low down.
And it's fine.
But it's genius,
it was
man.
Genius, bro.
I was in Jamaica, 2 weeks ago. And as early in the morning as me in Jamaica, 11 o'clock, I drive from Mobile, brother. The two KFC with me sit early in the morning. Lying outside.
Brother.
People want them chicken, brother.
Let me ask you this, though. Because I haven't followed up on it. Is it working?
Yeah, bro. It's sell off, as they would say. It's the line.
Chicken and wing.
Chicken and wing and a top up. You know Jamaica people love top up?
What?
Chicken and a top up?
Shit, y'all talk about free top up?
And chicken?
And KFC?
Not jerk chicken, because this wouldn't work with jerk.
No, if it was jerk chicken and
nobody wouldn't go.
Nobody wouldn't go.
So
KFC, a zinger shit?
So surprisingly, yesterday, one of the vaccine spots downtown was full after they announced that they were giving away free KFC and Flow phone credit.
Yo, man, applaud the man, Chin.
Some people describe these incentives as bribes.
Chin.
And said they were disrespectful and distasteful.
What are you talking about?
Now, I take offense to that. Before you say nothing more, Chin, these are the same people when election are run that text box food and t-shirt and 500J for a vote. All of a sudden, no, this is disrespectful. It's the same box food. It's just KFC.
Didn't the mayor offer $100 and Shake Shack?
Yes.
Come on, man.
America's been doing the same thing.
Top up for
Jamaica follows America. It's the 51st state.
But you know that I don't know how much credit I will give the genius who came up with this in Jamaica, because other islands was doing it. I believe it was Trinidad, if I'm not mistaken, that attempted to do it as well. Free KFC for vaccination.
Yeah, but see, the problem is Trinidad no love it like we love it.
Yeah, man. They should have got doubles.
They should have went bacon shark in Trinidad.
Yeah,
but Jamaica, the KFC at the right deal.
They should have got carnival.
We're going to talk about this on the weekend, because I want to know if this is a great thing, if this is incentive, or if this is capitalizing on poor people's needs. You know what I mean?
No.
For a lack of a better term.
I'm not
don't even drop that in our poor people lap, Chin. Don't.
You know we drop everything in our poor people lap.
This can't drop in them lap.
Here's why you have to drop this in our poor people lap, and then we get to speak to Ms. Flemings and for her to chime in and give you guys some information on immigration, right? Here's how I drop it in our poor people lap. This is not no incentive for people that got money.
They have the vaccine already, Chin.
But hear what so it is targeted to the inner city and poor class of people.
No, Chin, no.
Come on.
No, Chin.
Listen.
If it didn't say bully
but even if it is,
Chin. Let's be honest. Come on, let's be honest, right? I'm not saying whether it's a bad thing or a good thing right now. I'm saying let's be honest with what it is, right? KFC or the government or whoever announcing that there's free KFC to take the joke and top up does not appeal to the people living in Jacks Hills, Beverly Hills, and wherever hills in Jamaica.
That is true.
This is for the inner city people who think that KFC is a treat and they're not going to have to pay for it, and then they're going to be able to walk in and get a 2-piece or a 4-piece for free.
Don't forget
Plus
country.
The phone card where they need for go beg people money are fine.
Don't forget
but here's
country.
But here's my thing, right? If your initial beliefs in not taking the vaccine was you never trust the government, it shows you how weak your actual the beliefs were when you gave it up for a 2-piece and a phone card.
Because they wouldn't do it for Bully B.
Of course.
They wouldn't do it for Bully B.
I agree. So we agree that we'll have this conversation on the weekend.
Oh, we got to have it.
I think it's a much needed conversation.
Nicky.
If you were not going to take the vaccine because they'll kill you, and then they'll put microchip in you, and all kind of other things.
Don't forget it's the mark of the beast.
But now that I can get a KFC, it's good. It's a good thing.
It changes the scope.
It's a good thing. Yes, yes.
And the top up, not just KFC.
Phone lines are blazing right now, of course. I want to speak vaccine. As I said to those of you, make we lay off of the pastor, fair look a bit, right? Gangster Pastor's coming up next, by the way, so I don't know if he might go, dive into the whole Mobe situation, but I'm leaving it alone right now because I think everybody's talking about the pastor, and some of you are not realizing that you're about to get locked out of America. Which I think is more important, because the pastor done dead and gone already, and the ark done sealed.
Him dead. Him dead.
Move on.
Him dead,
right?
Him dead.
Miss Flemings.
Good night, Chin. Good night, Soundcheck.
Good night.
Don't mind us, Miss Flemings.
No, I'm enjoying it.
But Miss Flemings, I need you to help me out with something. I know that you are a scholar in areas of immigration. First of all, before we even get to the conversation that I want to get to, please let people know how they can contact you if they need their services. There's so much people in our community that actually needs a good immigration attorney to represent them.
Thanks a lot, Ken. Yes, my phone number is 718-489-9559. And my website is aflawgroup.com, and I am on Instagram, Facebook, and all other social media platforms at aflawgroup.
Give me that number one more time.
718-489-9559.
So we're speaking to Audie Flemings, people, and she is my person to call when I want to understand what's going on with immigration policies and things in the world of immigration. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to what she's about to say, because it clears up any misconception that we will have or that we have, right? One thing about our community, the whole we know everything, but we know nothing, right? Let's just put that out there. We know everything, but we know nothing. So I've had this debate with my lawyer / church representative / DJ / whatever that goes by the name of Iron Vice.
Whatever
right?
is the one.
And we were having this conversation about the fact that whether green card holders would be able to get into America after November 7th. So, Ms. Flemings, I want you to take it from the beginning. First, I want you to explain the policy to the people who are listening, and after explaining the policy, let us know who will be jeopardized with this new policy being put into place.
Okay, sure. So there are two main immigration policies surrounding the COVID-19 vaccination requirement. The first one went into effect on October 1st, and that was the requirement for the new medical requirement. So we all know that anyone that wants to get a green card that's in America that's trying to adjust their status has to go through a medical appointment with a doctor, a certified U.S. surgeon that is authorized through USCIS to perform these medical appointments. Now, and there has always been some kind of vaccine requirement, but a new requirement went into place on October 1st, where if it is that you're trying to adjust your status, or if someone filed for you from outside of the country and you're trying to get into the country, a new requirement is that in order to pass the medical portion of your immigration process, you have to have been fully vaccinated against COVID-19. So if you're just partially vaccinated, you're not able to either adjust your status. You have to wait until you actually have both shots in order to adjust your status. So the doctor won't even sign the medical if you don't have the vaccine. And that's been in effect since October 1st. Now, coming up in November 8th, it's the new proclamation that President Biden actually announced on October 25th, and it's a proclamation called Advancing the Safe Resumption of Global Travel During the COVID-19 Pandemic. And that proclamation actually, it goes into effect November 8th, and it replaces and suspends some of the previous travel bans that actually stopped quite a number of persons from certain countries
from coming into the U.S. Just based on the sheer numbers of persons that they had that were infected, the infection rate. So with that the new announcement that he made, basically anyone coming into the U.S., whether you are a non-immigrant, so if you don't live here and you're trying to come visit, whether that's going to be farm workers, entertainers coming in to perform, visitors, B1 students, everyone coming into the U.S. that doesn't live here now is going to be subjected to the November 8th proclamation, meaning that if you don't have a vaccine as of November 8th, you cannot come here unless you fall into one of the very strict exceptions. And not a lot of people are going to fall into some of those exceptions. Of course, there's always a medical exception and there's always a religious exception. They also have exceptions for persons who are underage. So we know that right now the vaccine is only fully authorized for persons over 18. Those are the only persons right now coming in that are mandated to have the vaccine. So for the kids that are traveling, people under 18 traveling, it doesn't apply to them. It also does not apply to U.S. citizens, U.S. nationals, or green card holders. So if you're a green card holder or a permanent resident and you traveled outside of the country, you're more than welcome to come back. U.S. is your home. So as of now, the ban on travel into the U.S. does not apply to citizens, green card holders, or U.S. nationals.
All right, stick a pin. So I am very sad to say Iron Vice was right. Because I interpret it as, and again, a good man admits when they're wrong, right? So, and this is why I said to you guys when we were talking, like, this is not law. We're going to get somebody who knows the law later on to talk about it. We were just having a reasoning. And I was going on the fact, Ms. Flemings, of nationals, right? And it said if you're not a national, then you would not be able, if you're not American national, then you would not be able to get back into the country without the joke. But you're saying that green card holders who are permanent residents in America don't have to have a vaccine or be fully vaccinated to get back into America.
No, they do not.
So then, most of you have nothing to worry about then.
That's correct.
Is there any more information that people need to know?
I know a lot of people talk about the exceptions, and I just wanted to kind of talk about some of the ones that, apply to the medical. So basically, if there's another subset of persons or countries where I know you guys just had the conversation about Jamaica having to dump all these vaccines. Now, the vaccine is not routinely available like how it is in Jamaica and in other places. In other countries, it's still a shortage in a lot of other countries. So if you're coming from one of those countries where there's a vaccine shortage and it's not routinely available, or it won't be routinely available within 4 months, that's also another one of the ways in which you can, I guess, still enter without having it. But you also have to make a promise or sign some documentation. I don't know how they're going to implement that upon entry you're going to get vaccinated.
Oh, wow. Okay, so the country that I live in has ran out of vaccines. I'm coming to America, but America's going to say, all right, no problem, come in, but let's step in this room. Step over here.
And that's only for the people who are coming in as immigrants. So if you're just visiting, I don't think it applies to you. These exceptions are strictly limited to in the medical, the U.S. immigration medical setting, not necessarily on a visitor setting. So this is for people who are trying to adjust, or people who are coming in and then they're going to become green card holders once they get here.
Let me also ask you this to make sure that I didn't interpret this the wrong way as well. I saw something that pretty much was saying that the U.S. is going to tighten the COVID testing, meaning that you won't be able to travel unless your COVID test was 24 hours before travel. Did you hear anything about that?
No, I didn't hear that. But I do know that all of the testing requirements is in addition to the new vaccine requirements. So even though you're fully vaccinated, all of the travel requirements and all of the testing requirements for non-vaccinated persons still apply. but I didn't hear anything specific about what you're asking.
Yeah, I was looking at something, Miss Flemings. I was reading something, and it basically was saying that the next step is to, because normally you have 3 days, you can travel within 3 days of taking the COVID test, right?
Yeah.
And it was saying that there is some type of move towards making it a mandatory 24 hours before the flight. So making it harder for people to operate without the vaccine.
Oh wow. Yeah, no, I didn't hear that. But I can see that, because remember, they're trying to squeeze everybody into the box of go get vaccinated. So they're gonna keep implementing more strict measures to basically get their end result.
So let me ask you this now, and I just want to back up a little bit in the conversation. So if you are not yet naturalized, you don't have a green card, you're there foreign, as them say, and you have hopes to get a green card, but you don't want to be vaccinated, there's no chance in hell that you'll be able to get a green card anymore, correct?
Unless you fall into one of the very tight exceptions that we talked about. So you have to basically show a medical reason why you can't, and it has to be well documented, or basically a religious reason. Those would be the only two reasons that you would have at this particular point if you're already here and needing to adjust status to basically avoid it. And that's, like I said, it's an uphill battle.
Can we zone in on the religious reasoning? Because I have some religious brethren in the building with me today, Gangster Pastor and Iron Vice.
Yes.
And I'm wondering, if these two brethren don't want to be vaccinated, how will they prove, or how is it that you prove that your religion stops you from being vaccinated?
Well, you got to look at your vaccination history. So if it is that you weren't opposed to, or your religion wasn't opposed to every other vaccine, but it's just this one, then I don't think that argument is going to be pretty strong.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you would have to be someone that didn't take any vaccines.
Exactly, or you haven't taken vaccine in years. You've basically been into bush medicine or whatever it is. You have to basically document anything that you're saying. If you're saying that it's a religious reason, you have to be able to back that up. And remember, the burden of proof is on you.
So can you represent Gangster Pastor if he doesn't want to take the vaccine and he wants to say it's to religious purposes?
I mean, of course, but again, what's the proof? Well, that's something that we're going to have a real deep discussion about to see if it's really based in fact, or if it's just something that he's saying just, because he doesn't want to take it. Again, it's a very strict standard. So it's not just a typical, I'm just going to say something. You have to be able to back this up. Because remember, we're talking about health and safety, and that's the position that the U.S. is basically taking is that, this vaccination is for the greater good. And it's in the best interest of the U.S. to protect the largest number of people, right? So if it is that you're coming and you don't have a valid reason for the exposure, then they don't have a reason to let you in. Remember, you're looking to them for a benefit.
And bear in mind, people, because I see the phones are ringing. I'm on the phone with Audie Flemings, and I'm going to give you guys her number again. But bear in mind that it is, from the perspective of America, it is a privilege for you to come here. It is a privilege for you to come here. So they have the opportunity to change the rules of engagement at any time, see if they see fit.
I feel them place.
Because it's their place. It's almost like someone coming to your house and you just, decide that you want them to leave.
I feel your place.
They got to leave.
Absolutely.
Miss Flemings, give them your number one more time, please.
718-489-9559.
One more time?
718-489-9559.
So, people, get in contact with Miss Flemings. Sort out your situations. You heard it from her that if you weren't already getting your green card and you're trying to get it now, the vaccine has now become part of the requirement. So some of you have to make that choice of whether you want to be naturalized or you want to, to be unvaccinated then, right? But whatever your situation is, you can give her a call and she can give you the best advice and possibly help you get your situations together, right? She's the immigration attorney that I pick up the phone and call when I'm trying to find out what's going on with immigrations and stuff like that. And I wanted to have this conversation, Ms. Fleming, because I ain't want nobody getting stuck someplace that they didn't want to be.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for giving me your time.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes. And that number one more time?
718-489-9559.
All right. Thank you so much.
Take care.
718-554-8598. I hate saying Iron Voice was right because he's usually wrong.
That's what everybody likes to
Call
think.
you live.
Hi, good night.
Good night.
Just a question in regards to Tanya Stephens. You're saying that she's now in the United States?
Well, listen. Drew sometimes joined the rumor mill.
Mm-hmm. And I did say rumor.
And you know, according to Drew's rumor mill that he's representing tonight on the platform, they're saying that she's in the States, but I doubt that, right? And Tanya's saying that she's just gonna say goodbye to America because she doesn't want to take the vaccination. And I'm just saying, ma'am, that you gotta respect that because she's talking the talk, and then her actions are matching up with the talk. My problem is the people who are taught the talk and then take the joke.
Well, one thing with me and Tanya, I listen to her. I'll take her when she comes, and whenever she changes, I just go along with the flow same way. I really never take her serious.
Oh wow!
Never yet.
So you don't think that she's gonna live up to this whole, you know, I'm done with the
US? Not at all.
Okay,
she'll be back.
Not at all. So I don't really I don't take her too serious at all. Wherever Tanya talk, I listen because you're not deaf and you can read. You read because it's there for you to read.
All right, give thanks.
And another thing that I didn't like when you guys were just going on the KFC like that. You know, so many countries, it may not be advertised like Jamaica, but they all try to encourage people by giving them the money, ATM card. The USA, especially New York, gave away 7-day unlimited. Jamaica get top up. It's the same kind of one make you ride and free for 7 days, and one will make you talk for 3 days free.
So you said you didn't like, but I missed what you said.
I didn't like how you guys were saying as if Jamaicans, they will eat once it's KFC. They will take it and don't care.
But all right, mommy, listen.
It's like it's a catch fire.
Listen.
Oh, come on, man. Remember, it's you guys.
Let's agree to disagree on this one because they could have given a pancake. They could have given away something else. But guess what? Them no say when it comes to Jamaica, they gotta give away the KFC. And all my thing is that this giving away of KFC is only targeting a certain sector of people in Jamaica. We got to be honest with it.
Hello?
Well, let me tell you something. They're going to give it away throughout the island. And everybody in every parish, some people in some parish, going to love the KFC. I may don't like it because it's fried food. They would catch me with the jerk chicken.
No, that's because you live on foreign.
No, I really try to move away from the fried food.
Well, ma'am, being I just left Jamaica 2 weeks ago, nobody in Jamaica is staying away from KFC.
Nobody.
Call you live. Greetings.
Before you go.
Hey, take me off of the speakerphone before you talk, you know. That me I tell you, you know.
I'm sorry about that shit.
All right, my brother.
Yes, boss. Yes, my boss.
Talk to me. Talk to me. I can't hear you. No, at least when you had me on the speakerphone, I could hear you. I can't hear you now.
Good night.
I can't hear you. Oh, him say good night.
He said good night.
I think him get frustrated and hang up on me. Call you live.
Chin, give some valid information a while ago, and, we really appreciate it. Let me first say, by no means am I an immigration attorney, and I have no knowledge in that field, and I respect everything what I'm saying. But based on working in,
I knew Butt was coming from you, but go ahead. I knew Butt was coming from you, but go ahead.
No, I'm not trying to fact check her anyway. Whatever she said, what you said earlier, I was just trying to shed some light on it. Based on my experience working in the industry for over 20 years, we always tell people that the U.S. will never stop you from leaving. They stop you from coming back in the U.S. Mm-hmm. If you are leaving, the only way they stop you, if you owe child support or you have a warrant or some major stuff, then they'll stop you. But if you're immigration, if you're out of status, they'll not stop you. You can't go anywhere you want to go.
Of course, because they want to get you out.
Right, them can't go you want to go. When it comes on to the COVID test, as you were saying, currently, as I said, based on my experience in the industry, the U.S. is not the one implementing the COVID mandate in leaving the country. It's the country that you're going into. Every country has different requirements. True.
Right.
So U.S. don't stop. If you have a COVID test to go on level, it's not the U.S. It's a country that you're going. Okay. The airline are forced.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a good point.
To implement it, because the problem is that whatever country you're going to, if you're going to Jamaica government may tell the airlines, listen, if you come in, your PCR test were valid for 3 days, and if you don't have it, they will still admit you in the country or send you back, but the airline get a fine. So when they deny you, when you're denied boarding at the airport, is not the U.S., it's the airline denying you boarding, because the airline knows if they bring you to Jamaica or bring you to Trinidad, they're going to get a fine, and the airline is not paying no fine for nobody.
You know what's crazy, though? And those of you who traveled, well, Drew just traveled the other day, right? So Drew can help me out with this. But you know what's crazy? I'm hearing that to go to Jamaica, the test that you take, you get the results back. How long does it take you to get those results back?
20 minutes.
20 minutes?
Yeah, because Jamaica doesn't require they take the antigen test, which you get back in 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay, so some people probably just taking different tests, because someone told me that it takes 24 hours to get back the result.
It takes 24 hours to get back the test from the PCR test. But to go to Jamaica, you can show either one.
Yeah.
When I go to get my test, I take the PCR and the PCR and the antigen. You get the antigen back in 15 minutes. So right there, you got your paperwork to go to Jamaica.
Okay, because coming back from Jamaica is a quick 15 minutes.
Yeah, coming back from Jamaica, America only requires you to have the antigen.
Antigen test.
Okay.
And you get that right there in Jamaica.
You learn a lot on Sound Chat Radio. Even I'm learning. Call you live.
Big up everybody.
You know, Drew, a traveler in a car, you know what I mean? Go. Yeah,
like Oliver said, very regular.
Go ahead, caller.
Question. You think if they had said only rich people can get it, right?
What, the KFC or the vaccine?
No, the vax.
Mm-hmm.
Only you have to pay for it, basically. Do you think poor people would have up in their arms when I talk about,
them would have burned down the place.
Them might try to kill me?
Yep. That's why you have to use mental games with them, brother.
In all actuality, now that you're saying that, big up to Gangster Pastor in the building, why are you saying that? In all actuality, if they came out and said that only uptown and rich people can get the vaccine, more ghetto people would have take it.
Exactly. They used the wrong approach.
Yeah, right.
More ghetto people would have take it just for feel like they have something where only rich people can get.
Yeah, man,
I agree with you. That's what you call reverse psychology.
What I want to see is, I imagine myself in a conversation, one of them people that from uptown, where them are watching TV, and see the people in the line at KFC and say, Rupert, look at them. Look at them for the chicken.
Rupert would have said.
Can you believe it?
You know what Rupert would have said? Jamas.
Look on them. Chicken.
The man would probably say we should have wait.
Chicken and phone card. Chicken and phone card.
Rupert is vexed. Rupert vexed, trust me.
Call it live.
Yeah. Good night again.
Good night.
I got a couple of things to say. First, I'm going to hear that Drew. That's that Drew. I missed out to show them from this weekend. Him to stop texting like taxi.
You might say him stay, man.
Yo.
Yeah, tell him.
Listen, when Drew takes plane, he's on assignment, and his assignment is to come back and tell us how things are flowing.
Right, in the airport.
The gossip mail.
Yeah, no, but we need
gossip. No, gossip thing.
We need first-hand information on the procedure of flight.
Okay, so I work in vacation.
Yeah, man.
I work in
Yes.
Okay. All right, the next thing is pertaining to the chicken and the phone casting. I'm chin right. We can't dance around it. It's aimed at the poor people. Because first and foremost, most of the rich people them probably already take the vaccine. Number two, they can't give rich people a fright them with fried chicken, KFC chicken. Well, them probably don't even eat fried chicken, KFC chicken. Mm-hmm. So it is directed at the inner city people. We can't afford to buy them one KFC chicken. I need food cat for call America and bake something. Mm-hmm. So it is for poor people. That is directed for poor people.
It is a target for poor people. Go ahead, Carla.
Yes, it is. Next thing, the Tanya Stephens situation and the artists or any artist where vice out and I said them now go for the vaccine or what. I mean, I don't see it. It's nothing. It's their opinion. At the moment, that's how they feel. And they voice how they feel. That don't mean to later them won't change for whatever reason. Maybe them change because they want to travel. Maybe them change because they say, I know better take a vaccine. You're not coming to know over else here. Them change their mind. They're entitled to change their mind.
Yes, but there is a danger, right? There is a danger. Let me explain to you what that danger is.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When you have such a large following and fan base, and you pollute the minds of others, and I'm not saying this to say that I'm for the vaccine or against the vaccine, right? But I am saying this. If there's a possibility that you will change your mind in the future, then you should keep your mouth shut. You should not allow yourself to go on social media, brainwash a bunch of people, and then you jump the fence and go take it.
I understand what you mean because of their platform.
Right. So therefore,
when a regular person want to say something and change their mind, okay, whatever. But as you say, you're talking about the platform they have.
Yeah, so we can't say everybody's entitled to their opinion all the time. When it comes to people who have a large platform,
you need to be careful.
You have to be careful with your opinion.
I
because
do agree.
What's this brethren's name? This brethren where the brethren where just went on the TV the other day, a couple months ago, and was able to just shift the Doge coin. Just basically on his opinion.
Elon Musk.
This is what I'm saying.
Okay.
This man was able to just say, yeah, you know.
I do agree.
It's a hustle.
Do agree on that. When I think about it on that situation, I do agree. Yeah, because they do have a platform. They do have millions of followers. People do look up to them and we listen to them. And so I totally agree on that.
Well, not Tanya. She only got 89,000.
That's still a lot.
Yeah.
It's still a lot.
Man.
All while going, enough people can't afford KFC. We are going like say.
And the thing is,
KFC,
let's get something straight. When people say poor people can't afford KFC, that is a myth. When me I pass KFC, me not see no Benz out there.
Drew,
a regular people.
Drew,
bicycle man.
Drew, you guys got to stop picking on poor people.
We are picking on poor people.
You and Iron Vice.
Drew picks on poor people.
No, let me say this. It's not that poor people cannot afford. Let's get that out the picture.
Yeah,
right?
Because they can.
Right? The fact of the matter is that they are targeting a class of people that will be motivated by freeness.
Of course.
And that is how it is.
Rupert
poor
Beck
people
him never wait.
are going to be manipulated by freeness. So it's not that them can't afford the chicken, but knowing so them get the chicken for free.
And the top up.
Exactly. And then they go back to the garrison, in the teeth in AC. Remember now in my teeth the current.
My teeth current.
So now you sit down and watch your big TV with your free current, eat your free chicken, and you're on your free phone card. Life is good. Life is good. Exactly. You get the free
vaccine.
Star. Life can't get no better than that.
Tough that, find it.
I said, yo, big up Tuffy. Find it.
Find that one there.
Ah, man. Let me take this final call and then we got to go, man. Gangster Pastor's up next. Call it live. Call it live.
All right, that's it.
I think I lost that one. It's cool. All right, shouts to everybody that was locked in. Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys took the immigration attorney's number because you may need it. Get your situation sorted out, man, because things are only going to get worse from here on. All right, and we'll be back in the building on
Friday.
All of us Friday. We'll be back Thursday, Wednesday. I'm here. You know.
Yes.
So.
All right. So
my son says I can come Friday. I'll be here.
Oh, that's good.